What's happening, fam? L.A.R movement still moving. Reestablishing the code of conduct in Black America. Old school stuff. Because I realize, people, nobody wants to say certain things, but at the same time, youth and some of us as adults don't have either forgotten or weren't or don't know certain things anymore. I don't know how that happened, but it's a generational gap. So I'm gonna go ahead and shoot it out there. It takes a village to raise a child, which means that the code of conduct is everybody's interconnected. Everybody has a stake in our children's safety, intelligence, success, happiness, um, day-to-day well-being, uh, conduct, manners, you know, and preservation, just in general. What I mean by that is, see, people seem to forget that not each one teach one. That's next. It takes a village. There were times in our communities where we didn't lock our doors from each other because we knew each other. We weren't scared of each other because we knew everybody's family. And don't get it twisted that there were people who were criminals among us that would try to overstep their boundaries. And like, look, your kid came over here trying to do trying to break in last night. I I put a gun to him. I didn't shoot him, but better tell him about that shit. And it's like, okay, handle it. From that could be from neighbors who weren't family to family members who just not immediate family but extended family. It happened. Okay, uh, people were able and were willing and able to discipline other people's children. Like, hey, you ain't doing that shit around here, and everybody understood it. And it wasn't a sense of, oh, I'm gonna catch you. I caught your kid doing something, I'm gonna just beat your kid. No, no, no. I'm gonna catch your kid doing something. I'm gonna discipline that ass, and I'm bringing them to you and letting you know exactly what just happened. They be like, oh, okay, understood, understood. And don't think they weren't single parent households when this was happening. They were, for the most part, they were more married. If they weren't married, they were separated, but very much so a team when it came to children. And there were some single parent households, but it was the standard was already set. As far as it takes a village, the criminal element of people would talk about gangs and violence and drugs. There was always gangs, violence, and drugs to a degree. But what it was they were part of the community. They had to respect the community because the men in the community did not discourage them and hate them. But if they stepped out of line and they were doing just having a shootout in the middle of the day, you would have men who weren't criminals in gangs like, look, I saw such and such in there. I know they kick it at the bar. I'm gonna go in there. I'm gonna holler at them. Look, you ever do that shit again, I'm breaking your fucking face. You ever come your stupid ass around here doing that dumb shit? You know what? Y'all work at night. Y'all don't come in here in the daytime doing that shit. And that's why crime, in a sense, was relegated to a certain time. You know what I'm saying? You weren't bold enough to do that when the kids were out because criminals had kids too, and there was a code to that shit. And plus, even though they were criminals, they knew who. Okay, when such and such Miss Johnson them going home, yeah, we might be beefing. Cut that shit out. We ain't beefing right now. She walked across the street with her groceries. When she go clear in the house, we're gonna be right back at it. But for now, it's over. It was a code because it took a village, and the same village raised those guys who wound up being not so good guys. So they respected the village, even though that they were detrimental to it at times. Each one teach one is next, right? Each one teach one meant I learn a skill, I show you a skill. Okay, so a lot of times you see the premise of each one teach one when you see a lot of sports going on in the community because people come back and show you how to throw a football or dribble a basketball or to shoot or hit a baseball. That's the initial premise of each one teach one is coaching. So if you know how to change the oil on a car, or change the oil, or change the brakes, or you know, tune up an engine and stuff like that. Kid in the community be looking at you like, it's kind of cool. You're like, come here, I'm gonna show you how to do this. It's interesting. As a matter of fact, anybody who was watching that movie, the movie Ray with Jamie Foxx, could remember that was the premise of Each One Teach One, when Ray was going blind and he was standing outside the thing with the old man playing the piano. Dun, 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 dun. Like, you like that? And he's like, yeah. It's like, come here. You know, like, put your fingers here. Pop, pop. And that was the beginning of him learning how to play the piano. Each One Teach One. That wasn't his daddy. You get what I'm saying? So, it goes with every other thing. Like, you got chemists, you got engineers, you got pharmacists who are keeping part of the brain drain in the community isn't the fact that people are leaving or getting educated and more established and moving out of the community. That's a part of it, but the bigger issue is you're not finding kids where you're at and teaching them things. I'm talking about even inside the home or outside the home. You know, you could teach your kid, look, meet me at this time. I'm gonna show you this, and this. You ain't got to stick around and all that. You make sure in this society, everybody got to be in an open and a safe place, and everybody got to be watched because people don't trust people no more. I understand all that. Okay, um, but that is the premise of it. The code was to make sure you did that. So if that brings another skill back to that family, you know, you ain't got to go to the mechanic if the kid can give you an oil change now. Now you saved a few bucks for the family that way. Okay. Um, that was each one to each one. God dog it. You always remember that you standing on somebody else's shoulders, which means they always would say, if people that were here before you, that paved the way for you to be where you are right now, your job is to get on top of them and keep the chain going and pave the way for somebody else. Meaning, if you got on top and yes, you've arrived, that don't mean that you arrived all on your own. Even if you came from a family that didn't help, there were other people that looked just like you before you in the same positions that you were in that people looked to before you even showed up. Like, yeah, I remember such and such. They don't even know them, but they were good. They did this, they did this, they did this. They remind me of this person. You know what? This is who we need to be around. But you got to take that into consideration, because you just didn't get to this position or position that you're at without standing on somebody else's shoulders. I mean, I take into consideration, last night was the NFL draft, right? And I'm using this as a reference. When they draft players, normally they talk about their abilities and their skills and size, but then what they do is they reference them to another player that came before them. They say, okay, he's kind of like such and such and such. This is the type of person he. So people use that past to reference. Oh, okay, this is what this guy. Okay, he reminds me of this. Okay, I got you. I understand that. That's a part of passing on a legacy, to know that even if you're not in a position that your own family is going to benefit from after you pass on, somebody else's family or person is going to benefit from the work that you put in that looks just like you. So that was a code of conduct. The other code of conduct was camaraderie. Black is beautiful. Black of the bear, the sweet of the juice. We black power, black unity. That's all about the camaraderie of saying hello to each other when you don't. The Southern hospitality. You see somebody, hey, how you doing? What's going on? What's happening? Now, I see that changing even in my day-to-day experiences, because I remember people were so guarded that you say hi to somebody, Now, and I will say this, and I'm not trying to be mean spirited, but it used to be a gender thing and an age thing. Because I remember, as a man, me and most men get along. Even most younger boys, young, what's happening? What's happening? How you doing? All right, what's going on? Do your thing, man. Women, how you doing? It was standoffish, but sometimes women would be cool with other women, sometimes it wouldn't. But now I'm seeing that people are getting back to that part. It's like when they see you in public, hey, what's up? What's up? You ain't gotta know them, you ain't gotta know their name, but you gotta know that you acknowledge each other and you know each other are there and you respect each other's existence. So I'm gonna leave it at that. Like, there are other things, but I went back to the basics because at least the basics needs to be out there again. All right, y'all take care. Peace.